Hey, so whether you're ready or not, Valentine's Day is right around the corner. If you're like me and you watch a lot of beauty YouTube, your feed's been inundated with the new Natasha Denona Mini Crush palette and the Gourmande Girls Saint Amour palette, and they're gorgeous. But I'm trying to rein myself in. I buy a lot of palettes. I love eyeshadow. I love palettes. But I've been good, and I have not bought any yet this month. Yet being the key word, because I can't make any promises that I won't. But I've been good so far. And I was thinking, well, I love pinks. That's why I watch all these videos, and that's why I'm so interested in some of these new releases. I have a lot of pinks. I wear a lot of pink. I have a huge collection of everything, actually. But I thought, well, why don't I throw something out there about maybe some of the stuff that I have in case you're like me and haven't picked up these new releases. Not an original idea. I do know that. So unoriginal, in fact, that last night, as I was thinking about this and watching YouTube, I saw Mandy Lee's video on the 5 Valentine's Day palettes you may already have in your collection. I'm going to link it below. I love Mandy's stuff, and she's just awesome. She actually throws in her couple of bonus video options too, because she cheats like I do when it comes to, yeah, we're going to do this, but we're going to maybe add something extra that's just not going to, we're not going to change our numbers. We're just going to call it the same thing. If you've seen my videos, you know that I oftentimes will add 2 things to one category and just kind of make my own rules. So anyway, got her link below. I'm going to touch on just a couple of the things that she's mentioned, but I'm not going to go in any great depth. She does swatches and does them well. I do not. I cannot. I just am not technically capable of giving you a swatch that looks decent. I knew. Maybe someday that'll be something that's in my wheelhouse, but as of right now, it's not going to happen. And besides, nothing here is new. You've seen most of this before. So I'm not tremendously worried about you hating on me because I can't give you swatches or give you really bad ones if I try. So, and then I also forgot, I checked on Instagram this morning, and Britt Clark has a tag out there, show us your Valentine's Day collection. Told you I wasn't original, but I'm also not technically savvy enough to put together that kind of a reel. I barely post on Instagram. I never post on Instagram, and I certainly can't put together something like that because I've got so much stuff in front of me here that it would take me a month to actually try and put it together, and by that time no one would care. We'd be past St. Patrick's Day at that point, so pink really probably wouldn't matter to most of you. So before I get into my stuff, I'm just going to briefly mention a couple of things that Mandy mentioned that I have here. So she started out with ColourPop, and she started with the Menage a Moi palette, which is a gorgeous pink and mauve tone palette, which I also have and love. Beautiful colors, decent price point. She mentioned their At First Blush palette, which I have but not here. So that's a good one too. She did, of course, because really it's like the elephant in the room. You can't not mention this. The Mini Love palette. Now, I don't know if this is even still available because they had gone on some great discount, but everybody's comparing it to the new Mini Crush. So there's comparison videos, there's swatch videos, there's all kinds of stuff out there that you might have seen. So if you have this, that might be your Valentine's Day option. Still working on getting my words out without trying to make it all one word. But she said that if we're going to talk about that, we got to talk about the Mini Love too, because that's kind of what it stemmed from. So that's kind of an important one. And she mentioned Alter Ego's dupe, Blooms, which I also have. I really love my pinks. I buy all kinds of them, but I don't have it here with me. So I can't show that one to you either. But anyway, check out her video. Check out Britt's Valentine's palette tag if you're on Instagram. I've seen only a couple people do that so far, but I'm sure by the end of the day that's going to be all over the place too. So what I'm going to show you is what I have which is quite a bit. And I'm ranging everywhere from drugstore to some more mid-range. I don't really have a lot of luxury. I kind of cheap. I don't have it. But then I've also got some cool indie stuff too. So I'm going to start out with probably what's the cheapest in my collection. And now, at one point, everybody had these, and it seems like nobody's talking about them anymore. So maybe you've decluttered them, maybe you still have them, but they're the Elf Bite Size. This one is Rosewater. This one is Berry Bad. I can't seem to use one without using the other. For some reason, there's shades in each that I like together. And no one says you can only use one palette to create a look. You can use as many as you want. You've seen people's palette bingos where they've got shades from 5 different palettes and they put them together. So maybe you've still got these floating around. That might be a good one. But what about Wet n Wild? Does anybody have Petalette? This one's really pretty. A beautiful baby pink shimmer, a nice mauve transition shade, a little deepening up plum shade, gorgeous brow bone. You still got that around. That'd be a good one. Then there's a brand, which I think is one of Mrs. Melissa M's favorite brands, but I don't know that I've heard her talk about this one. This is the LA Girl, whoopsie, threw a brush. This is the LA Girl Brick in the nudes. And this is mostly pink. I mean, you've got some of the tans, but these are almost burgundy leaning. So this runs the full range of all your pink shades. You've got mattes, you've got shimmers. You kind of got it all right there, including the brush that I threw, if you still have that in the palette. And that was a good drugstore one. That one's been out for quite a while, so maybe that's in your collection. Now, this one I've mentioned before in my favorites video, so if you haven't seen my palette tag, go back and check that one out. But the BH Cosmetic Romantic Nomads. There's some really pretty pinks in here, and some purples, and some neutrals, and you could come up with something. That gives you options. There's all kinds of fun things you could do with that. Now, still on the drugstore side, and kind of an indie brand. Anyway, whatever it is, Juvia's Place, all right? Don't tell me that you've already forgotten about their 6 pan releases. This one's the berries. That shade is fuchsia. You don't get a whole lot more pink. The berries is a good one. There was also the pinks. That one, unfortunately, was a warm tone one and didn't look good on me, so I don't have that one. But maybe you like a little darker shade. I'm so pale, I don't always know what would be best for darker shades because I don't have a basis for comparison. But I know these were fan favorites, and I know a lot of you guys out there still have these. Not everybody's decluttered them yet, so that might be your Valentine's Day option. Hey, mix them together. Throw in one of the other 6 pans. There were some grape browns. There was taupes, nudes, chocolates. There's all kinds of fun stuff you can do with that. So let's move on to mainstream, but not necessarily drugstore. Now, I'm pretty sure you've all heard of Sigma. I mean, you know about their brushes. Everybody talks about Sigma brushes. And their palettes have been getting all kinds of hype. But this one seemed to come and go a little bit quickly. This is Magnifique. Now, you might not think of this for Valentine's Day, but there's some pretty pinks and kind of burgundy colors here. And with these beautiful colors here, this matte and this shimmer, this kind of goldish one, that would be a gorgeous look. So if you picked this up or grabbed it on sale, because it did go on a good sale, that's when I grabbed it, that might be a good one for you. Now, Violet Voss isn't really talked about a whole lot anymore. Maybe I'm just the last person still on that train. But this is the Sweet Violets. And there's pinks in here. There's lavenders, there's pinks, there's even some neutral shades. If you got this around, that might do it. Maybe you like your purples more than your pinks and only want a hint of pink. Go violet. That works. Now, one of my favorite brands is Viseart. And lately, their last few palettes have done really well. In fact, I have one of them here. This one is the Violet Étendue, and good Lord knows, I can barely get my English out. I do not speak French, so I'm probably going to massacre half of the things I say in this video, and I apologize now. So this one is a good option. That's pink. In fact, it's kind of a bright pink. This is a gorgeous mauve. Look at these neutrals on the top row. This palette everybody loved. I'm sure some of you out there picked that up. I did because I love pinks and purples, but I'm sure that if you watch beauty YouTube, somebody talked you into this one, and that's a good option. Well, let's go with an older one. This one is, I love these plastic sheets. This one is their Midsummer, and it's a light one. All their palettes look light, but they actually give good color. This is a beautiful pink shimmer. This is a baby pink shimmer here in the corner. There's some neutrals here, but you can get a gorgeous look with that. This is a really nice rose color here in the corner. And then I've got one more for you. It's this one. Okay, that probably just looks stupid. Anytime I try and show you what's on my face, I end up looking like I'm just making faces at the camera. But anyway, this is one of their quads. Now, this isn't from the last set of quads they did. They did a 4-quad set release recently at the end of last year. This is from the release before. There was, I believe, 4 in that set also, but this is Framboise, and that's what I'm wearing on my eyes today. I have nothing else, just this. So you get decent color payoff despite the fact that they look pretty pale, and you don't really need to go any further. It's a simple 4-color look. That's all I did. Easy peasy. So, we've covered most of, well, no, we haven't. There's one that everybody loved, made all of the top of the best of 2021 palette list. Huda's Rose Quartz. Now, to me, this looks like it should have been a Valentine's Day release, even though it was released at the end of last year. These things come and go so quickly, but we couldn't have forgotten about this already. This is a great palette for Valentine's Day. It's a pink lover's dream. It's beautiful. Great quality. Got rave reviews. Valentine's Day in a palette, I say. Just in case you did pick it up. Wanted to throw that out there. Now maybe you're like me and like to dabble a little. This is indie, but still Sephora available. And I have to be careful with it because I popped a shade. This is my only melt palette. This is She's in Parties. I always wanted to get a melt palette. And I kept waiting and waiting and waiting. And then I started asking people who were reviewing them, what was the best cool toned one? And at the time, it was this one. Well, it's pinks and burgundies. There's mattes, there's shimmers, there's a range of colors. There's even some kind of neutral and gold in here. This is beautiful. I have to be careful because my darkest burgundy, I did manage to pop out. But would be a gorgeous one for a Valentine's fancy look. And indie, kind of mainstream. I'm kind of straddling on that one. But now let's get into something that's maybe a little bit more indie. You've heard me go on and on about the Bad Witch Club palette by Give Me Glow because it's in one of my panning projects. So if you haven't seen those videos, go back and check them out. But they've got other palettes. They have the Vintage Rose. Look at that color story. Pinks, greens, beautiful. Well, that's not their only one. They also have Vivid Rose. Now look at that. Look at all those colors. It's got rose in the title. Both of these do. You know I like the Give Me Glow. You know other people like the Give Me Glow. Not just me. Rose in the title, Valentine's Day. I'm thinking you really can't go too far wrong there. But there's more. There's more. Now, Kai Love used to be Musée Beauty, and they redid and then re-released the Le Jardin palette. I have the newer version because I missed out on the first round of it. But this pink shimmer in here, so pretty. And then in the corners, you've got a nice brighter one and then a nice deeper one. You can put together a look here. Throw some of that green in there. Same concept as what they did with the rose palette, so that's a good option for you. Now, Ace Beauté, their newest palette is getting all kinds of love. They changed their formula, but I have Blossom Passion, say it the right way, in their old formula. And this is all kinds of pink and all kinds of bright pink and light pink and shimmers and mattes and kind of a peachy one, even if you want something that's a little bit more warm, or if you're not into just pink, or if you want to like kind of change up the color a little. So that's a good one. Then I have another one, and I think this is my last. Did I tell you about Dominique Cosmetics? Did I forget? This was also in my palette tag. This baby pink, this really soft, beautiful mid-tone pink. This is almost the Pantone color of the year. You could throw this in the corner. You could deepen it up. You could go with a more neutral base. Sweater Weather's also on my list of good looks for Valentine's Day. Now, back to the ending, or at least that's where I was trying to get to. I keep forgetting all the things that I keep forgetting, and then I throw them in randomly, and I'm probably confusing you as much as I confuse myself. But anyway, I got a new indie company new to me. I don't know how long they've been around, but this is from Shy Bear Cosmetics, and this is their Berry Magical palette. It's just adorable. This is basically a rainbow palette. But look at these pinks. Look at these mattes and shimmers. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Go and look through your collection. Look at your pastel palettes. Look at your rainbow palettes. You've got these colors somewhere. If you're trying to stick to your low buy, no buy, you've got as much as, well, maybe not as much. Seems like I have a lot. I do have a lot. But you've got some of this stuff out there. So if you're trying to keep within budget, if you're trying to stay on track, dig through. Watch some of the Shop My Stash videos that have been coming up. A lot of people are pulling their pinks for Valentine's Day. You got to have some of this, I would assume. And if you don't, but you have something else, throw that down in the comment section for me. I'd like to hear maybe what I don't have or what I'm missing. I know I forgot to mention the Natasha Denona Retro Midi palette because I don't have it here with me. But that's another one that's a great one. So maybe you don't like pink. Well, okay, that's fine. You don't have to. Hey, maybe you don't even like Valentine's Day. A lot of people don't. A lot of people don't like that it's a made-up holiday, that it's commercialized. Whatever your reasons. Maybe you just don't want to celebrate it. Well, hit that subscribe button, because I'm going to have something coming up for you. It's kind of the anti-Valentine's Day. You don't want to miss it. If you hate Valentine's Day, that might be a video that's more up your alley. So, subscribe to my channel. If you liked this video, give me a thumbs up. Hey, if you hated it, give me a thumbs down. I know I'm not being original. I know Mandy did her video. I know Beauty and the Frizz is doing hers tonight. I believe hers is alive. I know Britt Clark is doing her thing on Instagram. And I'm sure she's going to have some TikToks out there too, because she's kind of the queen of that. That's her jam. And there's people that I'm not even aware of that are doing this. There's so much stuff that I just not even remembering. There's indie brands out there that I'm forgetting about that I don't have in my collection. There's all kinds of stuff out there. So comment, let me know. Start a chat with me. I would love it. So, yeah. Stick around for some future stuff. Go back and maybe see some of my older stuff. Subscribe if you feel like it. If you want, give me a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate that. I'm really happy that I'm getting a few likes and some subscribers and a few comments. I'd love to start a chat with you. And until next time, that's everything. Bye.